President Trump is about to take his economic message on the road. He'll visit a critical swing district in eastern Pennsylvania today as he celebrates the state of the economy. He said this in an interview with Politico.
I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home, and I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
your economy. A+.
Yeah, A+, plus.
But many Americans strongly disagree. A recent CBS News YouGov poll found 60% believe the president makes things sound better than they really are when it comes to prices and inflation. 27% said he's right on point. 13% feel he paints a gloomier economic picture than what's really happening. Let's go to CNN senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak right now. Kevin, is this the message people in Pennsylvania can expect to hear today from the president?
Yeah, and this is really an opportunity for the president to road test that economic message and his claims that he's bringing prices down. This event itself has become something of a rarity for the president. You know, we really haven't seen him go out for a campaign rally style event speaking to his supporters about his agenda since April. And many of his allies have felt that that was just too long, that it signaled a lack of focus and attention on the people and the issues that brought him to the White House in the first place. And so that will be sort of his mission when he is up in the Poconos today. Now, whether the president delivers the message that many Republicans want him to deliver, I think is a second question. You know, the president has spent the last several weeks really downplaying this idea of affordability, calling it a con job, calling it a hoax. And so it remains an open question of whether he will be able to sort of convince some of these people that he's speaking to in eastern Pennsylvania that he's doing everything he can on the economy. I want you to listen to more of what the president said in that Politico interview about this very topic.
It's been 10 months. It's amazing what we've done. If you think of gasoline a gallon, they had it at $4.50, almost $5. You go to some of the states, you had it at $6. We hit 3 states 2 days ago, $1.99 a gallon. When that happens, everything comes down.
Now, recent political experience has shown that it can be quite difficult to convince Americans that the economy is doing better than they feel. President Biden tried that and it didn't really work. This district that the president is heading to is a critical swing district. Joe Biden won it in 2020. Trump won it in 2024. The freshman Republican representative there, Rob Bresnahan, is a top target for Democrats in next year's midterm elections. And polls, even in Pennsylvania, show that voters really don't find that the president's handling of the economy has been top-notch. A survey from Quinnipiac showed that those who found that this economy was doing either not so good or poor was 52%. Those who said it was good or excellent, it was at 46%. And so how the president messages this today, I think, will be important to watch. His advisors say that this will be the first of many domestic trips talking about the economy coming up as the midterm elections start to get underway.
With us now, CNN political commentators Paul Begala and David Urban. David, you know, the president heading to Pennsylvania, your home turf today, to deliver this message on affordability that White House advisors desperately want him to be on message about, is saying the economy is A+++++ on message for that?
Listen, I think the president needs to have an I feel your pain moment today.
A++++.
Listen, the economy is, you know, it's doing better. Right? Gas prices are down, inflation is down, real wage growth is up. We're going to have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. All those things are going to kick in the beginning of this next coming year. So the economy is going to slowly improve. But just like you saw in the last administration, where the numbers are pretty good, when people reach into their pocketbook and they take out that wad of $20 bills and they got to make a decision how much gas to put in their car, how much groceries to put in their cart, that's where it really matters. So you can think one thing, the White House can think one thing, the Council of Economic Advisors can one thing, the Fed can think one thing, but Pennsylvanians, Michiganders, Ohioans, people across America know something different when they reach in their pocketbook. The president's the best communicator on this, and so I think it's imperative that he get out on the stump and start reminding people about that this administration cares about affordability.
I thought Republicans were against great inflation, David. Paul, you've run some campaigns where the economy seemed to be pretty important. You know, would the Clinton campaign in 1992 ever come out and say, you know, it's the economy being A+++++ stupid?
No, it is stupid, and with respect to our president, it's foolish. Let me put it that way. If you go to a doc, you say, "Doc, my shoulder is killing me," and the doc says, "No, it's not. That's a hoax perpetrated by the knee." You get another doctor, right? Because we live in this world. People don't, and Urban sounds like one of the Biden advisors. But the macroeconomics, look, people don't live in the macroeconomy. They live in the macaroni and cheese economy. And they can't afford that macaroni and cheese. Hamburger is $6.32 a pound. It's the highest in the history of hamburger. Electricity rates are through the roof. Try to buy or sell a house in Louisiana or Florida or Texas with the property insurance rates going through the roof. And healthcare is about to kick in. We're going to see the subsidies gone from Obamacare. It's going to raise everybody's costs. People are angry. They're really angry. And when the president, who's a master salesman, when he comes to them and says, "No, you can't believe your lying eyes," it makes people think he doesn't get it.
Now, the president insisting the prices are coming down. The White House often pointing to real wage growth as evidence of success in making life more affordable. But there is some new data out suggesting that there's more to it than that. CNN's Matt Egan has much more on this. Matt, what are you seeing here?
Well, Kate, look, if voters were giving this economy a report card, it's clear they would give it a much, much lower grade than what the president did. And I'm not just talking about those 5 pluses. I mean, consumer confidence is near all-time lows. A lot of voters think that the president's policies are doing more harm than good. Look at this Gallup poll from earlier in November. Just 27% of adults say that the economy is getting better. That's down from 31% in October, the lowest reading since July 2024 under former President Biden. Far more say it's getting worse. And part of that is because of the cost of living, right? And you mentioned wage growth. So in the most recent jobs report, that's from September, we can see the blue line, that's wages. They are going up at a faster pace than the red line, which is inflation. However, you can see the gap in the last few months. It's starting to narrow, which means that inflation is catching up to prices, not what you want to see. But this is in aggregate, and this is as of September. So let's zoom in a little bit. Bank of America put out a new report where they find that among high-income households, wages are up by 4%, well ahead of that 3% inflation. That's great, most since October of 2021. But unfortunately, that's just for high-income earners, right? When you look at middle-income households, wage growth is much, much softer. It's just 2.3%. That's the middle bar here. That's actually trailing inflation, which is on the left. That's not great at all. And look at this. Low income wages are up just 1.4% as of November. That is less than half the pace of inflation.
So this means life is not more affordable.
No, exactly. That's right. It means that life is not more affordable. And no wonder why a lot of people feel like they can't catch up. They literally can't, according to this research at least. Bank of America economist Joe Watford, I think he summed it up best. He said low income and high income households are often living in 2 different worlds and experiencing 2 different economies. And so, Kate, it's hard to square all of that with this idea that the economy is an A+++. It's clearly not for many Americans. They're just having a hard time catching up.
Yeah, I mean, this data an important aspect to understand what people are feeling ahead of President going to Pennsylvania to speak about affordability today. Thanks so much, Matt. I really appreciate it.